All right, welcome back, everybody, to your 2025 Cincinnati NXL event. Event 3. I'm Matt Falby. I am super stoked because I'm joined by one of my partners in crime here on this webcast, Julian Malazweski. Introduce yourself to the crowd if they don't already know. Jersey Jesters. Actually, go ahead.
What's up, guys? Julian Malashevsky here, part of the infamous Image family with my dad, Tommy Mal, my uncles, Richie and Greg. Obviously, you got to see the tattoo right here. Playing semi-pro out here with the New Jersey Jesters, and always super stoked to be up here in the commentary tower with you because we are actually up in a tower right now.
Yeah, we've got the Comp Sports Super Tower in play now. Completely non-OSHA approved. Let's see how this goes, folks.
So
All right, on our left we got Heroines, and on the right we got Baltimore Nevermores. Heroines doing what, actually both teams doing what, okay, Heroines crossed. They did exactly the play we talked about. It doesn't work, but they attempted to cross the 50 and take that crawl up the snake beam.
And then so the Heroines are down 2 right now. The Nevermores are still up 5, I believe. One thing Matt and I were just talking about prior to this is the amount of movement and the way that you can push up onto the other opponent's side of the field, which the Heroines did try here on the first point. The Nevermores are still 5 alive right now. They are in the snake, the back center, as well as the Dorito side.
Heroines now into snake 2. They're still at home, and they're at the mini temple, now into Dorito corner. 3 alive. I think this might be Brooklyn here working the snake Dorito. Nope, it's Rojas.
That is Miss Rojas right there. She just eliminated one of the Nevermores out of their center 40, center 50, center brick.
That's a big kill. That brick can really control both sides of the field.
And then the one thing about this, with this Snake 3, or as they're calling on the pro field, the Snake Rito player, they are blind down to the Dorito side. So the Nevermores actually just lost their Dorito 1 player, and the Heroines are now in the Snake 50, pushing on to the Nevermore side of the field. Miss Rojas is shooting inside at their Snake 3 player right now, and they also have the Snake can as the insert left.
In that distraction crossing the 50, Heroines have also pushed up in the D2. Now their home is going to take a sideways bump into the snake side can. Daniela really controlling that back line. It is, for the Baltimore, I don't see a way out of this one without a lucky snapshot.
And she's doing exactly what she needs to do right now, because if she moves, she's going into that gap, but she knows that if that player has to edge out by any means, that they're going to edge out right into her gun.
So Daniela was not aware of the 50 wedge over there on their snake side, turned and blew her up in the back. So we're on a 2-on-1 favor of Heroines. I don't think the Heroines have conveyed the location of that last Nevermore player.
Correct. I do think that this bit of communication has dropped right here, but we'll see if they connect. The Snake 2 player from the Heroines is edging up to the Snake 3, the Snake Rito, and the Nevermores player is in their Snake 50, and she is shooting at the Dorito 2 player. I think that the...
Alexis trying to close this out. She knows where he is now. She's going to blow her up in the back. I think she got her in the pack. Sure enough, there it is. All right, Heroines made that one interesting. Honestly, a real rough start to that point. Rojas did a great job trying to pull that one out of the fire. She overextended herself a little bit, got blown up for it, but her teammate's able to finish that one out. Yep. Good work by Alexis.
I think both teams came out really aggressive, so...
So I'm going to say, by the way, I'm glad you said the word aggressive. If you're watching this, well, you are watching this, you're going to see teams take these middle bricks, right, dead center in the middle on almost every game. It looks aggressive, and I'm not trying to downplay it. It's a fairly easy take on the run out. It's actually kind of hard to get shot running to it unless you're really running a wrong path. So you're going to see what looks like a very aggressive breakout. I would call it a standard breakout on this field.
Mm-hmm. And when we were playing earlier for the Jesters, you're going to see a lot of the same going out to this first temple, this first can, heavy in the middle.
Making the Dorito or the snake is a dicey affair on this field.
And we have Tiki's Ohana on the right, and we have the Femmes Fatales on the left. Tiki's Ohana has moved into the center brick. They've doubled the home. First bunker on the Dorito side, and then they've now launched into the snake wedge. The Femmes were stacked up pretty heavily in the back, but then now they're making all of their secondary moves up. We are still 5-on-5. I'm sorry. We are 5-on-4 right now in favor of the Femmes. One player has dropped from Tiki's Ohana on the Dorito side.
Roxy here in the snake Rito, looking left. She's going to try to control the other team's snake. Neither team up the middle, so I just ate my words on that intro. Teams choosing instead to take a little bit of a wide approach. I think we might have Casey Erb there in the inside snake wedge, backing up Roxy.
And we are hearing a decent amount of communication from the Femmes. We are a little distance away from Tiki's Ohana, so you want to believe that they're communicating a little bit harder. And then Tiki's Ohana, as I say that, they just launched from the snake side wedge over into snake 2, and she is now shooting the inside shot. There is a bound shot that comes off of this center brick into this snake side wedge, so they're trying to shoot that, but at the same point in time, you're also seeing that snake side W, which does have a few bound shots here or there. Still 5-on-4 right now, both teams. The communication is going really heavy. And everyone's just really kind of rolling their guns right now. They're communicating.
So we've definitely hit that kind of slow period on this field. This field tends to see a lot of action right out of the gate, and then as teams, until they get a bunch of kills, it kind of slows down. It can be a tough field to push and close. You've got to be very careful about overextending yourself.
I agree. And then, so like what we were talking about earlier, this snake 3, the snake Rito, and then Tammy Adamson's making a move right here into the center. I think she just got eliminated.
Yeah.
At the same point in time, this player from the Femmes, number 18, she moved from snake 3 into the snake 50. And she's hunting for kills right now. The back center player for the Femmes has now launched into the 40 brick right there. The communication is definitely live and going here for the Femmes. Again, we're a little distance from Tiki's, but I'm sure that they are communicating. Their coach is Ricky Williams, and he is a stud for the Tiki's Totem semi-pro team, I believe. Got to talk with him for a few minutes before this.
Casey Erb going to take a walk. That loses their inside snake presence. Roxy's on a bit of an island now out here trying to control. She needs to pick up some kills quick, otherwise she might get swarmed.
And the Femmes now have 3 players. As you said, they are getting a little bit spread out. At the same point in time, I believe that Tiki's has now moved into their Dorito 2. The home player has now filled out into the Dorito side temple, and she is focusing on the snake way. The only thing that I don't like about that move that the Tiki's player did, now granted, she's coming over there to support her player, so I'm not knocking the insert, but where this player has now just moved. Oh, she just got clipped on the move.
Overextended.
So when you're in that home bunker, you do have pressure on this snake 3 person. So as soon as you come out, you actually lose that gap. At the same point in time, the snake 3 player has now moved into the snake 50 for Tiki's. The center player from the Femmes has just gotten eliminated. There's 1 player left for the Femmes in the Dorito side corner.
This is a great aggressive move down the other team's snake beam by the Ohana player. She's setting up for that last player. I think the last player knows. She's suspicious. It's not going to matter. Yeah, that Dorito corner is in a world of trouble. There's not many good outs here unless you get a kill. Oh.
And this is number 6. She is crawling onto their side of the field, and she is going to definitely make some work on this one. And this is Miss Ariano.
Yeah, Cammy. Cammy will be joining us tomorrow on this webcast, by the way. Great game for her that time.
Here's her quick shout out because everyone apparently has pronouncing her name wrong, so she wanted to make sure that we accentuated the O. It is not Ariana, it is Ariano. So way to go, way to make that move and communicate.
Well played. A very aggressive movement down that snake beam into their snake. As soon as she realizes she doesn't have a shot or she's pinned, she just drops and keeps crawling. I see a lot of players with those kind of opportunities that don't take advantage of them. So great instincts on her part to finish that out.
And then so we're getting ready to have the Nevermores on the left, and then we're going to have the Heroines on the right.
This match is brought to you by HydraFit. HydraFit having a great line of knee pads. You can check them out. They're blacks, and they have a new set of pants that you might want to check out too. Very durable, very comfortable. If you get a chance, we'll show you off a pair. Late to the box. Is she going to make it for Nevermores? No, I don't.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, what is it? Yep.
Are they still playing? There's a bit of confusion on the scoreboard.
Yep.
There's beepers going off. I think it's irrelevant. They keep playing.
Yep. So it's going to be 5-on-4 right now with the Heroines. The Heroines are in the center of the field, back center. Snake side, small temple, the Dorito side corner. I'm sorry, there's going to probably be, and then the snake side temple. And then for the Nevermores, we're in the center brick, and the Heroines have moved from the snake side up into the center 40 wedge. At the same time, we have the Nevermores coming down into snake 2 right now with their 4 players. They are in the back center, the small temple on the Dorito side, center small brick, and snake 2. Both groups of teams are communicating very well. They're looking at their lanes. At that same point in time, the snake player for the Heroines is now in their snake 50. We'll see if she's going to be looking to cross into the Nevermores Dorito side. At the same point in time, Nevermores have now dropped their second player, so it is a 5-on-3.
Brittany Reed there got caught being a little bit too ambitious over the top of that snake mini wall. It wasn't gonna, the only exception for that if she was getting ready to move, but she stayed there too long. Doesn't work. They're going to lose their mini brick in the middle, leaving just 2 players remaining for the Nevermores. Both in a pocket. They are not crossed up, so there's still risk of a run through here, and that's it.
I will say one thing I really have enjoyed so far in these first few points for these ladies' matches is that their communication is really on point.
I got to say, it's better than what I've seen in some of the semi-pro today. I think you're completely right.
I mean, this is one of the hard things, especially when the middle, if you know where 2 or 3 are and you're losing track, more than likely they're going to be filtering out the middle. This is really easy to get up the field and make an impact. So there's going to be a lot of cautions, a lot of dangers, and that's one thing that they definitely need to keep doing because any communication is better than none. Because if you feel like you're on an island with no one talking to you, that's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
And then we're getting ready to have the Femmes here on the right-hand side, and then Tiki's Ohana up here on the left-hand side. They got to get there.
Yeah, again, late to the box. I think that's Paige Vassar desperately trying to get there. Does she tag? Yeah, she's in.
5-on-5 breakout as of right now. Femmes are in the snake can back center, Dorito, small temple, back right Dorito, and I believe Tammy has launched into the center 40 wedge.
Tiki's with a little bit more conservative breakout, doubled up at home. They're now filtering up to that middle. They've lost one of their home players. Now they've lost Paige and the snake, so they're down to 3 players left. Home, Dorito side mini temple, and up the middle in that brick. Now Home's going to spread out to the can. Good move. She's clean. That's actually kind of a tough bump when there's a gun waiting there.
Yes, and then one thing that Tammy is doing right now is that she is sitting on the Dorito side, stopping those players, icing them, as you're going to hear a lot of players say, not allowing them to get outside. You end up having a jobber roll at that point in time, but she's doing work in there. At the same point in time, Femmes are also in the snake too. Tiki's has matched Tammy in the center brick, and that center brick is trying to figure out which way that her gun's going to be more dominant on. They're also in the snake can, the insert for Tiki's Ohana, and as I said before, the Dorito side temple. And then the can player just got eliminated on the arm, and then I believe it's a 2-on-5.
Cammy's going to take a walk from that middle brick, leaving just one Tiki's player left trying to hold it all together. This is probably a losing situation without a quick win of a gunfight here. So it's at least a 3-on-1 in favor. Yeah, and that's it. So, by the way, I'm going to go back a game. So for this game, Paige Vassar late to the box. She got in. She had a good, effective game. The previous game, we watched one of the Nevermores get late to the box and miss it. I think one of the worst deaths in this sport is, I'll just call it an organizational death. To not make it on the box in time means something went wrong in your pits. It could have been the player's fault. Could have been coach's fault. Could have been pod filler's fault. I don't know. But that is a really, really awful death. Not acceptable.
I agree. The one thing, especially at this high level, you need to have a pit crew. And if you have extra players on your team, then they need to be paired up with another player. That's one thing that we do on the Jesters. We are all there together as a team. Someone's got to grab the gun. Someone's got to fill. Someone's got to clean off. Like, we're all in this together.
Sounds like you have battle buddies.
Oh, yes. Nevermores on the right, and then we've got the Heroines on the left.
Heroines 5 alive, no 4 alive. They're going to lose their Dorito side mini temple.
There is a ref running in to check on the can, and Nevermore's just got a penalty.
Oh.
They got a yellow pulling out another. So it is a 4-on-3 right now. The Nevermores are in the snake side wedge. She's looking inside, home, and then the ranch. I'm sorry. And I will say the one thing about this Dorito side temple, and you've heard this in the different podcasts, as the Heroines lose their the Nevermores lose their back center player. So it's now 2 Heroines are squeezing out this snake side wedge player. This, on the Dorito side, that mini temple, you often are playing an island position. This is one bunker that you can be effective from, but then you are drawing so much heat as this player is right now. So you just need to tuck in, try to absorb as much heat as you can. She's able to do a lot by helping on the inside. So if this snake side wedge player, so the problem is this place, yep, exactly. Now they're back and crossed. This is where they need to be because the snake side wedge can protect on the moves going up. The Heroines are right now in their snake 50. Miss Blanco there is doing great work right now.
She always
does. And then there's also great communication from the Heroines going right now.
Blanco's ready to cross, although she's got to get past the gun from her from the inside snake wedge. She does. Play tight, draw the guns. Don't make a sloppy death here. Blanco, I think, should just dip in, draw guns.
So I will say, as the small side temple player was looking inside, there is a gap that player missed. Between the 2 bricks in the center, you can see that lane from that temple. Unless this field is a little askew and you cannot, that is the one lane I would be looking at. Unless the communication had dropped and they weren't sure how far they were going on the Dorito side, you can literally stay tight and literally sit in that gap, and then you can communicate that. So that was one move that was missed, and then obviously she ended up getting clipped in the back.
All right, well, congrats to Heroines on that one. Honestly, that is a bit of a missed opportunity for Nevermores because they went up 5-4 early in that match. Against the Heroines, you really need to take advantage of those opportunities. You're rarely going to win the breakout shooting match against the Heroines, so they did it that time. It's kind of a missed opportunity for them.
I'm not saying that that player may not have known that they were hit, but in this, you're never bigger than your team.
Yeah.
Tiki's on the right.
Why
Femmes
did you
on the
stare at
left.
me when you said that? That was a lot of hate.
Hey, it's true. It's true. I have the fortunate opportunity playing with Aftershock in these events, and that's one thing we always say. You are never better than the other team. You have to, if you get hit, get off.
Yeah, get off field.
As we say that, both teams are now 4-on-4, pretty much lost
All
a
right,
player
run
off the
through
break.
the middle there by
Miss
Andrea Martinez. And she's still alive.
Mm-hmm. If you make the right move and have the right height.
She's going to take the can.
She's catching a lot of. She may have gotten clipped on the top of her head, but I think they're letting that one go. I don't think the refs were in a good position to see it.
Yeah.
I think there's a little hit right on the top of her head.
I'm not sure the home is aware of her presence. She is now. She's going to get hit in the hopper, take a walk.
Talk about being a bruiser and doing work, though. Way
Great.
to go.
Yeah, great work by Martinez on that one. This is Roxy trying to clean it up.
Yeah.
There's a side fill from home to that can. That's a very risky, especially with Roxy with her gun waiting for her. There it is. That's a kill. Now the home's also going to walk. That's going to be it. All right, nice strong second point by Femmes, up 2-1, 7.5 on the clock.
These are definitely some exciting games.
Heroines up 3-0, 8:50 on the clock. That's a lot of time. Baltimore is, I'm going to say let's focus on getting kills on the run out. That's probably their best chance to disrupt the Heroines. We'll take a moment to thank another one of our sponsors, which is Carbon, with their Zero Goggle system, and soon to be released DRV loader with built-in timer and programming. Thank you for sponsoring this, and if you're at home watching, go check out their product. If you're here, go check out their booth before all that stuff's sold out.
I will say one thing I do not like to see is we're just getting to the box now.
Yeah.
Like that's
Very risky, especially for the Nevermores, who just lost a body doing that.
And one of the Nevermores players just got clipped off the break.
Now five alive for
Clean.
Nevermores. Might have
One
been a
Heroine
bounce.
player is down. 5-on-4 for the Nevermores right now. I believe that was the center player for the Heroines that got that first elimination, but they are first into the snake here on their side for the Heroines. Communication is going really well again for both teams. That's one thing that is really sticking out on both sides for all 4 of these teams.
So 5 alive for Nevermores. They're now into Snake 2. This is, again, one of those opportunity games for Nevermores. They're up a body. They need to figure this out and close it out. Don't lose gunfights.
And then I think one thing for the communication for the Nevermores is that this is a combo of Cheetah's players, previous Tiki's players, and the St. Louis Angels.
Yep.
So these ladies have been together for a little bit. They're probably playing in pairs, feeling comfortable with each other. At the same point in time, the Nevermores have just lost their first player out of the back center.
So 4-4. Elizabeth Maisner here in the Snake Rito, looking cross.
So I believe that, yes, there is a Heroine player in the Snake 3. She's the one that's got those first 2 eliminations. And then the Heroines player, Miss Blanco, here is moving down the side. I think that she may have gotten this first player here off of the Snake side. There's 2 players left alive for the Nevermores. Both are focused on the Heroines 50 Dorito right now, which is leaving a lot of things open. And now the Nevermores Dorito players playing heads up. Miss Blanco just took elimination over there.
A little too aggressive. So what I love that I watched Blanco do just a second ago is she was playing with elevation. She actually dropped all the way down to the turf so that she could look cross. She could use part of that snake beam and Dorito to block off the view from home. Very clever drop down play. The problem is she got up and ran right through a gun after that. But smart play. I love seeing that.
And the thing is, being aggressive, if you get eliminated on a move like that, if she's a smart player, she'll understand where that happened from, and then it won't happen again the second time. But sometimes you got to make that push to kind of feel where you can go, how far you can go, things like that.
Yeah, like I said, she dropped down to get a wrap shot on the over to the Dorito side, but then she popped right up into the Holmes gun. So she kind of forgot a home gun was looking for her. All right, still, we got 2 Nevermores alive, 1 at home, now 1 in D2.
And I believe right now it is a 3-on-2. Heroines are now moving out to the Dorito side corner. Heroines are in the Snake 3, and then the Snake insert can. Nevermores are in the back center, and the Dorito 2 right now.
Keep talking.
And then, so all teams are communicating, everything's getting, and then the Nevermores player has moved from the back center to the Snake side can at the same point in time. The Nevermore player has now launched from the Dorito. And then we also have the Heroines player. She is still in the D3. I think she's looking to get a little wild in there. We also have the Snake insert can. And then we are still on the D side. I got the scoreboard blocking me. She's still in the D corner that way. So Heroines are crossed up right now from the Snake insert to the D3 right now. And she is in that D3 looking inside right now. So really in the end here at this point, the Heroines have the ball. And there's not too much protection that's going to be happening here from the Snake side can.
So Heroines are also up 3-0. I cannot blame them if they want to go into clock killing mode, or they could choose to go win this thing.
I mean, at some point in time, like, if you want to sit, you can sit, but if you feel like you've got the win and you're doing well, might as well go for that point margin. You never know if it's going to come into play later on at the end of the game.
I'm a bad teammate. I'm always going to push,
yeah,
regardless. So it's very difficult to ask players to sit for 5 minutes straight and not go try to win the game.
Push smartly, not stupidly.
Yep.
I'm terrible at grammar.
You did good with the words.
Yep, the Dorito player has now gotten eliminated for the Nevermores. It is now a 3-on-1.
No, I don't think they're aware of the Nevermore position. They are now. She had an opportunity to maybe pick up a free kill, missed that opportunity. Now it's going to be a 3-on-1.
And the Heroines are communicating too, so that's the one thing you do like to see in this.
She's going to get hit in the back
Yeah.
by the Dorito side. There's nowhere to go. She's still alive somehow, but she's about to get bunkered.
Nice. Just enjoy seeing anyone get bunkered.
you are a sick man.
I am. Hey, it happens to me a bunch. I love to do it. Who doesn't like to get up in someone's kitchen and deliver some pain?
Yeah, that's true. All right, good controlled point by the Heroines. They're going to go up 4-0 on this one. They're really in the driver's seat.
Say again. And then we also have Tiki's coming out here on the left-hand side. And then the Femmes are coming out here on the right.
After this game, you're going to watch New Jersey High Rollers take on San Francisco Sirens. And you're going to watch Northern Lights taking on the Immortal Angels. That's our 2:15 game.
I'd just like to see the teams be at the box before this.
Yeah,
or at least 3 or 4 players.
Please, no more deaths to being late to the box. The Femmes are definitely late to the box.
5.
Go, go,
4,
go.
3, 2, 1. One person wasn't able to touch up. Now she touched up and having to pivot. Tiki's has dropped 1 player, so it's 5-on-4.
Tiki's have no snake presence right now. They are up the middle, and they're doubled up at home. One of these home players needs to start spreading the field. Oh, there is going to be a minor on Femmes. What a great start to this point. It's going to evaporate.
So the Femmes have now dropped 3 on this side. They are matched up with Tiki's at the center 40 brick. Tammy just launched from the home to the snake side insert, and then Femmes just got stitched up here. And then, so I believe it is going to be a 4-on-1. Tammy is in the insert snake can right now.
Cammie must have been told by a teammate that somebody arrived at her bunker with her, because there's no visual way she could have saw that. Or maybe she just launched and got lucky, but that was an amazing counter move by Cammie. Now there's going to be a run sideways. Is it going to be a trade? Looks like it is a trade.
The one thing about Tammy and her play is all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
You know, the die on your sword, that is how she plays. So she's
I like
aggressive.
to call it dying on the other team's bayonets. So honestly, that was a mixed trade there for Femmes on that one. Cammie was in a very crucial position. They wanted to get her out of that, but you're already down bodies. Trading a body is it's not a great value proposition, but that was kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment for the Femmes.
Mm-hmm. And so the one thing that is bad for Tiki's on this side, you here on the snake side are watching all of their dead players walk in front of you.
Yeah.
You could tell here at the end of this point, they weren't really sure what's going on, and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You're watching literally everyone walk to you.
You should have the count.
So that'll be my one critical point for Tiki's there.
All right, well, Tiki's are going to tie that one up, 2-2. We're going to jump back over to the Heroines versus Nevermores. Nevermores have got to come up with something. They got 3.5 minutes for 4 points. It's probably not realistic to pull 4 points in 3.5 minutes. So I would say, use this as a learning lesson. Maybe try to narrow up your point differential, hopefully help you in a playoff tiebreaker situation. But mostly use this as a learning situation. That'd be my advice. Let your coach do some interesting stuff. He hasn't gotten some game plans. He hasn't gotten a call. Get ready for your next match.
You got a hard breakout from the Heroines. Someone just got clipped.
They're going to lose. Yep, they're going to lose their home player.
That's Krista Titus, I believe, that just took a drop. And then they just lost another player. It almost like they tried to do a triple home break. However, they did string out 2 players, Dorito corner, snake corner. The Dorito corner player is now launched into Dorito 3. The Nevermores have dropped 1 player right now. So it is a 4-on-3. They just lost their Dorito corner for the Heroines. I believe this is a 4-on-2. The Nevermores are in Dorito 3, about to go into their 50 Dorito potentially. They also have the Dorito side temple, the home, and then the Heroines have now launched into their 50 snake. At the same point in time, the Nevermores are in their center 40, center 50 brick. She just missed that shot on the player. However, if she's not screaming her head off about that's going on, I would think that the Heroines player may try to get a little squirrely and get a run through.
So Rojas danced right through a gun waiting for her. She's now primed to maybe attempt a bunkering move, but to do so, she's going to run right through a gun. I think it's too risky. I like what she's doing here. She's posting up, waiting for one of the Nevermores to make a mistake and peel her head off. I would not recommend a run through in this situation.
And agree, just like you said, they're up points.
Yeah.
So if you play smart, that's what matters. Ultimately, in the end, it's the W. Keep your body alive, communicate when you can. She knows she's on an island right now, so she doesn't really need to start screaming her head off. Starting to hunt for shots, which is cool. The Nevermores just heard it. She's going to try to come in. She's going to hit the bunker. She did not.
She doesn't. I don't think she knows she's
But
there.
if she shoots her gun, it's going to get fun. Let's go. She's going to come around.
Yeah, they're both going to go around at the same time. Ring around the rosy. That was great.
Now, she really lucked out. She did not get a spin on that one because she got shot in the pack and definitely shot her gun afterwards.
This is Brittany Reed trying to close it out for Nevermore. Honestly, she's got kind of a worse fighting position than the last heroine player in that Dorito. Oh, she got her, though.
Yep.
Reed is going to finish this out.
That was a great play.
There you go. Now, you know me. I'm always one for bad news following good news. So good news for the Nevermores, they're going to get this point. Bad news is they're still going to be down 3 points with a minute and a half on the clock. So, again, the match is probably out of reach. I don't care. If I'm Nevermore, I'm very happy with that outcome. That was well played.
When you have a good team point, there is always something to build off of.
Yeah.
If you just get blanked out and you feel a little bit lost, it's so hard to come back together because it's like, well, did we do anything right? Like,
yeah, there's hard to learn learning lessons when it just feels like you got torched off the field. So, yeah.
We've got Tiki's coming out here to the right. Femmes here on the left.
All right, Femmes on your left, tied up 2-2 with 6 minutes on the clock. Unless this is an extremely long point, no matter who wins this point, there's still time to tie it back up for the losing team. Big run up the middle by the Femmes. Femmes also now pushing into the Snake Rito.
At the same point in time, Tiki's Ohana has moved into the snake side wedge. She is looking heads up right now. Miss Martinez has moved out from the back center to the snake insert for the Femmes. Refs coming in to check a Femmes player.
Femmes now doubled up. She's going to do the run through to the brick. I think it's going to be a trade. Yep, it's going to be a trade. Oh no, she's going to get a major off that.
And so what happened before the Femmes player made the move, she got clipped. She finished the shot, which gave them the red. I thought I saw it, but I didn't want to say anything unless there was a flag thrown. That's exactly what happened there. But at the same point in time, we can't hear if Tiki's has acknowledged what's going on. And the Femmes player had launched into their Snake 50, then moving. Oh, she just got a
Roxy's
second kill.
going to chew them up.
Yep, that's her second free kill. She took advantage of some chaos that was going on her side. She just took an elimination from the Dorito side corner. There is 1 or 2 players left for Tiki's right now, and only 1 player left. Is it one-on-one? One-on-one right now?
I believe, I believe we're looking at one-on-one. We definitely have 1 player left alive for the Femmes.
Yeah, so it's a 2-on-1 right now.
That's Andrea Martinez.
Yep, she's in her Snake 50 for Tiki's. They are in the Snake side can, and they are in the Dorito corner.
No, I'm hearing another voice. And I could be hearing voices in my head. I think there might be another Femme player left over on the Dorito side.
So the one trick, though, for the Femmes, and I
Sure.
do this too, is...
There it is. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, so I knew there was
Corner.
2 for Tiki's,
You're
and
right.
there was 1 for the
2-on-1
for the Femmes.
Okay.
The thing is, if you're by yourself, if you start yelling as if you've got a teammate, then they don't know. They're hearing your voice talk to someone else.
Right.
If they think that you got someone else, it's like, maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. But at this point in time...
So I think Andrea may have overextended a little bit here. That snake is on her side. She's now going to attempt to run at, and that's not going to work. I like the aggressiveness. I always do. But, no, that's going to be a major. There's no bodies to pull.
The Femmes just took another major for that.
Yeah, there's no bodies to pull. They're going to start down two bodies.
And what they're going to say there is that when she took the run for the Dorito player, that the Tiki's player shot her from the snake side before she came through.
Yeah. All right, well, unfortunately for the Femmes, it looks like they're going to start down by 2 bodies. Fortunately for you, you can go play at Hornets Nest Paintball Extreme in New York. Again, I feel a little mixed about the New York Yankees branding on the bicep as a Boston guy, you know. I don't know. I can't accept
It's
it.
in upstate New York, you know.
The Yankees.
Look, I'm from Maryland.
Who cares about the Yankees? They're a nobody team not going anywhere in this sport.
I play lacrosse, so baseball is just a waste of a lacrosse field.
There you go.
So
Yeah, right.
You can hate me for a baseball player. I don't care.
Let's go Red Sox.
But I did play soccer, and as you were saying earlier, we are on these beautiful fields.
Oh, yeah.
This grass is amazing. You grew up and played here as a kid, correct?
So this is literally the park that I grew up in playing soccer as a kid when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old. This my home, my literal home where I grew up is about a mile from here. So it's amazing to be back here. Go Bengals. I was a fan of the Bengals during the 90s. Talk about a wasteland of fandom. It was just brutal. Just brutal. Keely Smith, anybody? Remember that name? I'm so sorry if you do.
All right. We got Heroines on the right. Heroines just took an elimination right off the break. At the same point in time, I think they just did have that same similar hard breakout. Snake corner, Dorito corner. Nevermores are still 5 alive. They are now just dropped 1, so they're now on 4 with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go.
So Nevermores might as well just throw it at the wind, right? Because they're under a minute. The match is beyond reach. It's 1-4 with under a minute. They might as well just go for it. Seeing that action up on the Dorito side, Nevermore's starting to do that. I'd love to see number 8 here in the can make a move into the snake. Unfortunately, she's going to make a move to the pit, and she's going to take a player with her with a minor.
Oh, and then
A little bit of an
there
over.
was another elimination. I think just made a mistake there. Didn't realize that they got up as far as they did.
We're now at 35 seconds.
This player for the Nevermores is pushing down the Dorito side. She's now into the Heroine Snake side, Dorito 3. She's got her gun turned inwards, just took elimination, but that was a really good push from her down that side.
Absolutely. We're at 20 seconds. You've got absolutely nothing to lose by pushing. Go for it. This last remaining Nevermore player would probably be suicide for her to get up and start going, but hey, why not? You're at about 10 seconds.
Agreed. It's better maybe to, get up and do something rather than get bunkered in a little can. At the same point in time, that was the game.
For her trouble surviving, she took a ball about a second after the clock ended. All right. Well, that was a rough match for Nevermore's. Heroines get on track. This is their first match of the weekend. Looked good doing it.
And then for that, too, at the same point in time, the Heroines have a lot of players that have really been doing a lot of work for their individuals as well as their teams. You have multiple players that have been members of Team USA and won awards as well.
All right. Well, congratulations to Heroines on that one. Rolling back out, we're going to see some Tiki's versus Femmes action. Game is close. I want to take a moment to thank Hydra Fit. They gave me some product. Mainly, JD from Hydra Fit wants me to tell something to the folks. They have 2 different knee pads. One is the 1.0 and one is the 2.0. The only difference is a cutout on the back. The 2.0 is not a better knee pad. It's just for people that feel constricted or bothered by the full knee pad. He wanted me to tell that to everybody because it's caused a lot of confusion. All right, we have barely any players in Femmes because they got 2 alive after that penalty. To the Femmes' credit, they're trying. They're throwing a body at the 50. Doesn't work. She's going to take a walk. Now it's going to be a run through. Doesn't get far. At least one Femme player in the Doritos. They've seen enough. They're going to towel out. Femme player going to steal a pod off the ground. Good for her. You get something out of this point. All right, that was a pretty unwinnable situation for Tammy Adamson and the girls. They were down 2 bodies to start. They flung some what's the word? Some pasta at the wall. They threw spaghetti at the wall. I could use a different word. And they tried it. And they're going to towel out of that one, move on to the next one.
And then so it's going to be 4-2 Tikis right now. And, both teams have played very aggressive. Both teams have communicated. So off the break shots are working. It's going to be interesting. Both teams have definitely been heavy through the middle, pushing hard in the snake side, definitely for the Femmes and the Heroines. So what's the counterplay? Are they going to have some people sitting in zones? That's where you're going to see some of these mini Ws and this lay down brick in the center. They do have some shots they can put in on the snake side to kind of hold them, as well as the back center can hold people towards the snake. But again, you have to be able to make that push. You have to kind of bully some people, have some doubles, have some triples.
So one advantage for the Femmes is they have Tammy Adamson, who has been an absolute champion going up the middle on a lot of layouts, taking a lot of territory on runouts, and doing damage. As for a counter, look, any team that needs to win games fast is going to go up the middle. But as a counter, what you can do maybe is send a player to the snake on the runout, which, by the way, is not a guaranteed in. You can definitely get killed trying to go to the snake on the runout. Drop, crawl, just bypass snake 2 right into the snake Dorito, turn and get on that middle brick. By turning and getting on that middle brick from the snake Rito, you can really blunt any run-through attempts that Femmes may try on you. But you've got to move fast because you know they can get to that brick super fast. Getting to this Dorito has got to happen also as fast as humanly possible. Well, they do the first part of it. They're into the snake.
Oh. So as of right now, it looks like we are 5 on 5. We're in snake 2 for the Femmes. They've just also moved into the snake side wedge. The Femmes are on their side of the center brick. For Tikis, they've also matched them, so it's poison, one on one side, one on the other. But both players, I don't know if they're starting to roll their guns yet. And then the Femmes player looks like she's trying to decide if she's going to make this launch down. At the same point in time, Tikis have now just lost one player, looks like from the back center or the snake side. So I think it is a 5 on 4 as of right now. For Tikis, their home player is focused on the Dorito 3. That's a really good lane that they have. Femmes player from the back center has now moved out to the snake insert. At the same point in time, the Femmes Dorito corner has launched into the Dorito 1. Both teams are really communicating well. And then Femmes player just ran through, eliminated the Tiki center brick player while getting that elimination. And then at that same point in time, the Tiki's player also just got eliminated out of the Dorito side corner, leaving, I believe, only 1 or 2 Tiki's players left. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 players left for the Femmes.
I would argue that they have 3.5. Dallas Whitwright is having a lot of paint breakage problems over here in the snake Rito. She is constantly squeegeeing. So kind of an ineffective gun at the moment, not her fault. We are now at 1.5 minutes. They need 2 points to at least tie this match to send it to overtime.
And it's great communication right now coming here from the Femmes. You just saw the 2 snake players talking with each other before she made her move. I believe that is Monica here on the snake side temple.
So for Tiki's, your game plan right now has to be get this game down to about 40 seconds. If you can get it down to 40 seconds, even if you lose this point, it'll be very difficult for the Femmes to win a 40-second point on this layout.
And so Tiki's, they do have a player right now in the snake, and then the home player is crossed up inside. So just to your same point, you have to take that pressure. You know that it's not a great situation, but if you can absorb the pressure, then things can go well. I think that the Tiki's home player just got eliminated.
Yep.
So it is a 3-on-1 right now.
But we are at 37 seconds, 35 seconds. Frankly, this is a win for Tiki's. It doesn't look like a win, but this is a win for Tiki simply for clock reasons. Femmes are going to race in there. I think that might be Dallas again hitting the buzzer, but frankly, at 26 seconds left on the clock, Tiki's mission accomplished. You lost that point, but that's a mission accomplished.
And then now leads into the under a minute. Again, so for this, if any of the players from Tiki's gets eliminated and gets a penalty, it is going to be a swing point, thus then throwing the game into overtime, because right now it's 4-3.
Yeah, very dangerous times underneath 60 seconds. Stay away from the penalties. So got to give advantage right now to Tiki's. They can lock it up, cross it up. That's low risk stuff. You know, sitting behind your gun and being willing to get out when you're hit is low risk stuff. It's going to be very difficult for Femmes to break a cross up situation with only, what do we got, 26 seconds left?
Yeah.
So Femmes, I mean, definitely throw bodies up the middle because that's an easy push on this field. After that, I don't know. Maybe you send run-throughs simply to draw attention and draw guns away to let your teammates move and make something off of it.
I mean, so the one thing I will say about this, in this low body situation, For Tiki's, I would go wide and flat as much as you can because that small temple on the Dorito side, when they get there and look inside, again, they have the brick for the other team, your own brick, so you can see that gap if they're going to cross through it, as well as your own mirror. So if they make their alive, they can easily see that. The insert can on the snake side also has that same angle. For the back center, you have some shots on the god, sorry, that's our call. The insert can. However, at the same point in time, there is a blind shot that if another player is sitting in, they do have a really good angle on you as well. So this is going to be really hard for the Femmes to push in. One thing I would think, if by some chance, if they can maybe beeline through the center, dive in to get into Tiki's wedge to try to bring that gun inside. Hopefully you can get some good, shots to make that happen real fast. 27 seconds is maybe enough to win a quick point. But at the same point in time, like I said, if someone plays on, they get a flag, there's the swing point, and now it's in overtime.
I could see two different strategies that I might try to employ. One, which you already absolutely talked about, and it's the right thing, which is send a body at the other team's middle brick, have that body then drop, crawl along the snake beam, get to their wedge, pop up, shoot cross, and just try to do a bunch of damage. So that's step one. Step two, I might literally send a gut player out with no paint in their gun and tell them to do a run through. Why no paint in their gun? You can't get a major for running with an empty gun. You can't get caught. I know you can get a minor for running on, drawing guns, but if you get deep enough into their backfield and even put your gun up, you call yourself out, you're still going to be drawing their eyes away from the middle, and that'll give some of your other players a chance. I would never suggest this if there was, say, a minute and a half on the clock. No way, I don't. But with 26 seconds on the clock, you need chaos to win it, and sending a player flying through the middle without paint is maybe a chaos play. That's it. It's not a smart plan. I'm not claiming this is a smart plan. I'm just... This is desperation time.
And so far, the crew seems like the reffing crew has been doing very well. It doesn't really seem like they're throwing egregious penalties and, not giving players a chance. The only thing I worry on is when you're moving, like someone like me, if I'm doing that, it takes a little bit more for me to stop. I can't just stop on a dime.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So,
I can't stop on a quarter, man. I will say I'm actually seeing less penalties at this event than I've seen at Tampa or I saw at World Cup last year. And this is the same ref crew. They have a very solid, consistent reffing crew they bring to the semi-pro.
Yes.
I don't know if teams are getting smarter or if the refs are getting kinder, but I'm seeing a little bit less penalties than I've seen in the past.
I think it's a nice ebb and flow for both. I think we're going to see something heavy from the Femmes up here in the middle. Hard snake.
Here we go.
So, yeah, they're going to get flat. They're going to sit in all the big zones. So, like I said, for Tiki's, this small Dorito player, she's got the inside. She can literally sit there and catch people coming through. She's going to be a hard person to eliminate right now.
Tammy Adamson attempted to run through there. She got picked up by that mini temple. Not going to work, and now the momentum is stalled. 5 seconds left. There's going to be a desperation move here. Really, once that charge to the middle by Tammy didn't pan out, she didn't have anybody backing her up in the chaos play, and that was kind of the end of it. So Tiki's are going to win that match. Congratulations, Tiki. That was a great back and forth for them. On the other side, congratulations to Heroines. You got your first win of the weekend. Nevermores, you got to come back, come up with a different game plan for the next team. All right, I'm not saying goodbye, but I'm going to say something else to you. If I can reach it. I have a surprise. So as a thank you to some of our guests, I'm giving you a package of Gold Star chili sauce so you can go home and enjoy Cincinnati chili from home.
Okay, you were telling me about this.
It's very special to me as a born and raised Cincinnatian. I'm not sure the proper phrasing. Queen City person. So you can go home, make yourself some chili with cheese. Very, very important. You shred mild cheddar as finely as possible. It should be like a cotton candy cloud of cheddar cheese.
But why do we put it on spaghetti?
Look,
what
Cincinnati,
the package says.
Cincinnati had an excess of spaghetti at some point, and that just became a thing. All right, we're going to go to break. We're going to come back with some more WNX action. I'm fortunate enough that Julian's going to join me for the next match also. We'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, guys.